Today we're going to be making a homemade granola. I love granola for all times of year, but the really nutty, warm ones speak to me especially in the fall, and this one is definitely packed with that. Feel free to customize this to your liking. We're going to be using walnuts, pistachios, and pumpkin seeds. I preheated the oven to 300 degrees because that's what we're gonna cook it on. And I already actually measured the oats into this big mixing bowl. It's gonna call for 2.5 cups of oats for this recipe. The recipe I scaled to make about 13 servings of a serving size being 2/3 of a cup. We're starting with 2.5 cups of oats. Then we're gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of walnuts, 1/2 cup of pistachios. A lot of times I do buy the pistachios that you have to shell yourself because it is cheaper. But this time for convenience, I did buy the pre-shelled pistachios. And we're also gonna add in 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. I'm going to add some seasoning. So we're gonna do about a teaspoon each of coarse salt. I'm using kosher salt, turmeric, and cinnamon. You can definitely, this is something you can adjust yourself as well. You can use, more or less salt. I would say this is starting off with a pretty moderate to low amount of salt, and it will make the amount of sodium per serving be considered a low sodium product. Got most of the dry ingredients. We're also going to do, for the sweeteners I mentioned before, today we're going to be using a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of pure maple syrup. So the brown sugar I already measured out. We're using about, we're going to do a loose 1/3 cup of that right in there. And then the maple syrup is going to come in a second. First, I'm going to add in some of the olive oil that we're using as well. So we're going to do 1/3 cup of olive oil just to help everything come together and help it actually bake in the oven as well. And then we'll be adding that maple syrup to finish it off. So all mixed together right now. This is kind of what we're looking like. All right, now we are going to add that 1/3 cup of olive oil, which I have here. And then all we're missing is that 1/3 cup of maple syrup. So we're gonna do another 1/3 cup. Well combined, we're just gonna lay it onto a baking sheet. You may need 1 to 2 baking sheets, depending on how big your sheets are. So I'm going to add it onto the baking sheet, spread it out in a thin layer, and then we're gonna bake it for 45 minutes in the oven at that 300 degrees that we preset before. Okay, and here's the final product. Definitely, I kept it in for about 10-15 minutes longer, so close to an hour, to let it crisp up a little bit more. It smelled amazing as it was cooking, and I already tasted some of it warm, and all I can say is if you didn't like walnuts before, you will now. This is delicious. All right, enjoy.